Hey everyone, Random Randy here. This is Vlogust Day 6. It is the 6th of August, 2017. I'm not really sure how long this video is going to be, probably not terribly long. I am physically and emotionally exhausted. I just got done doing flea extermination on our entire house, vacuumed the shit out of everything, put down the flea powder, had to kick the dog and cat out of the house after giving them both baths and putting them outside of the house so they weren't huffing in any of the powder on the carpets, which is super, super fun. And this morning, I called my father. I usually call my parents every weekend and talk to both of them, either on the same day or separate days, or sometime around the weekend. But anyway, called my dad this morning, and his voice broke almost immediately after picking up the phone, and he said he had some bad news, and that my cat Chester, who we took to live with him a few years ago because one of the apartments we moved into back in Maryland would only allow us to have 2 pets. So Chester, my gorgeous, obnoxiously loud orange and white tiger striped kitty, went to live with Dad, and apparently last night Chester was struck by a vehicle and managed to drag his stubborn furry little butt back to the house to be with my father and passed away. And he is now buried next to all of the other animals that have come and gone at my dad's house, and has a giant plot of catnip growing on top of him, which I'm sure if he were alive he would have enjoyed thoroughly and probably would have rolled all over it and crushed it until all the stalks were broken and eaten it until he promptly had a narc coma and just passed out. I feel like I should be more sad about it than I am. And of course, I've been totally fine, but now that I'm talking about it, I'm gonna lose my composure and burst into tears like a woman. My dad lives out in the country in the middle of nowhere, so that makes the list of suspects for who could have struck and killed an animal in the middle of the night fairly small, which narrows it down to family that lives in the area or people who have cottages on the other side of the lake and are inconsiderate assholes and apparently think that the 15-mile-per-hour speed limit does not apply to them. If I still lived at home, I probably, after burying my cat, would have been outside digging a trench across the entire width of the road, probably about 6 or 8 feet deep, because my dad lives on a dirt road, and there's nothing to deter people trying to rip through in their little rice-burning Honda Civics than digging a trench deep enough that were they to blitz over it driving any faster than 10 miles per hour, they're going to bottom out their car and scrape the shit out of the bottom of it. Not gonna lie, I feel like that's the justice that the kitty deserves right now. So the reason that I'm more angry than sad is that it was extremely unnecessary. Primarily because people are just inconsiderate bastards and think, oh, it's a country road, I can drive as fast as I want, and who gives a shit. But aside from the impotent rage because it doesn't really have anywhere to go, well, aside from me rage cleaning the house because I asked Adam to just take the boys out for a while so that I could get everything taken care of, because not only can the pets not be in the house around that powder crap, the pesticide, but little kids definitely shouldn't be either, especially considering their propensity for laying down on the floor, on the carpet, on their belly. That's the last thing I need, is my kids huffing in insecticide. So, aside from my impotent rage that I burned off through cleaning the house, I'm glad that Chester got to go live at my dad's house because he got to spend the last few years of his life outdoors as much as he wanted to be. He could hunt and kill rodents and spiders to his furry little heart's content. And yes, Chester was a very big spider hunter, especially when I lived in a tiny little apartment with him. But he was my first son. He was my baby before I had human babies. And I'm bummed that I'm never going to get to hold him again. And the last time I saw him was a few years ago, the last time we got to visit home. I was actually looking forward to it once we got out of here, getting to not only see my parents and the rest of my family and friends, but getting to go snuggle my ridiculously large tiger cat. So at the end of this video, I am going to insert a clip of Chester when he was a very tiny kitten, and a few pictures of him, one of them actually being a picture taken just last night before this whole thing happened. So if any of you out there are pet people, you will understand why I am as upset as I am, because pets are family. And if any of you are of the opinion of, oh, it's just a cat, do us all a favor and keep your opinion to yourself, because you are entitled to it, but I don't want to fucking hear it. Because you're wrong. That cat, I taught him to respond to me vocally when I asked him a question so that I wouldn't feel insane talking to my cat when I lived all by myself. So no, he wasn't just a cat. But although I am not religious and therefore don't believe in heaven and all the other trappings of the afterlife, I am a spiritual person, and I very much believe that his energy will be transmuted and carry on in another way that will be beneficial to somebody else. And honestly, I called my dad this morning, and I had a dream about Chester last night. Just a dream about hanging out with him and petting him, and then I called Dad this morning, and hey, surprise, he's gone. So I guess that was his way of coming to tell me goodbye. Oh my god, I'm just so over this crap. If it's not one thing, it's another. And the fact that Chester's passing is so soon after the death of Chester Bennington, who the cat was named after. It was kind of a dual naming. It was a combination of Chester Cheetah and Chester Bennington, but the fact that it is so soon after his passing, the irony of it does not escape me. So if any of you have fur babies, or human babies for that matter, because we honestly never know what will happen between today and tomorrow, make sure you hug them and tell them that you love them, because you might not get another chance. So I guess that is really all I have for today, and I'm gonna cut it here before I totally lose my shit and break down on camera, because nobody wants to see that. I'm not a pretty crier. So yeah, I hope you all had and are having an awesome weekend, and I will talk to all of you tomorrow. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Bye. Chester, kitty kitty.